club had a tough year last year, obviously, and it's a massive club, we obviously went into the season that, trying to change a fair few things in there. Sometimes when you do that, it can be fairly volatile. We've had our ups and downs, but I think, like I said, we've definitely made progress, and we'll be in good shape for next year.
Ange Postecoglou at a business lunch at the MCG yesterday, while behind him, the scoreboard at the G had welcome home Ange, a huge image up there. It's going to be quite the occasion tonight as he leads Spurs onto the MCG. A whole lot of us have swatted up on the way of Spurs throughout this year, and I think the best way to introduce my guest, who is the host of the Spurs Chat podcast, part of the Talk Sport network. You'll know we've got the partnership with Talk Sport throughout the cricket season. Thanks, Chris Cowlin. The podcast, 60-second updates, have been such a great way to follow and learn everything Spurs this season. Truly appreciate your efforts, mate. Chris, it's great to have you in the studio. Welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me in. It's a pleasure to be here.
So your work resonates on this side of the world.
It's incredible. I'll tell you what, I arrived in Australia yesterday. Everyone's been so friendly, and I cannot wait to see tonight's game.
What have you made of the homecoming of Ange, and can you detect the affection in every corner around Melbourne?
Absolutely. There's a lot of affection in the UK as well, but here in particular, everyone seems to love the guy, and I totally understand that. There were a lot of sceptics at first when Ange was appointed at Spurs, but overall he's done a really, really good job this year. Lots of positivity. He's had a lot of difficulties during this season, but as he said there, it's all about progress. We've progressed. We've got a Europa League spot for next year, which is fantastic. But there is a lot of work to do at Spurs. He's had 2 transfer windows. There is still a lot of work to do, and he wants to win. He's so hungry, and that is music to our ears.
At Amy Park last night, where the training session was held, lots of Spurs fans in Australia. How have you been able to understand the reach of Spurs here already? Yeah,
of course. Everyone I talk to, it just seems that everyone's more on board with Ange. They're more on board with Tottenham. Spurs are gaining more and more supporters as the days and weeks and months go on, because Ange is now a Tottenham Hotspur manager. But everyone I spoke to yesterday, they've travelled all over from Australia, all over, the world, in fact, like myself. And, everyone wants a part of Tottenham, and everyone's excited to see what happens next.
Have you been to the MCG before?
I haven't. I'm really looking forward to it.
What are you being told?
I've been told that the capacity is 100,000. It is a sellout this evening, so I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of Spurs fans. And it just goes to show how well Tottenham Hotspur are supported. And like I said, since Ange has been appointed, I think that you could probably fill that stadium twice over.
It's a slightly weird game, isn't it? Straight off the back of the EPL season.
It is, and there is a lot of criticism from a lot of broadcasters in the UK why Spurs are doing this. But when I spoke to a number of Tottenham fans in Australia yesterday, you can tell exactly why Spurs are doing this, because there is so much demand to see the likes of Heung-min Son and James Maddison and Mickey van der Ven and all of our stars that we've got. And it's really great that they engaged with the fans last night, the players, and people just want a part of Tottenham, and it's so great to see.
Were they giving away old kits and that sort of thing last night?
They were. They had bags of old kit that, quite a lot of fans who live in Australia here went home with some great bits of memorabilia. It was quite funny to see.
Take us back to the start of your journey, Chris. Are you a lifelong Spurs man?
Lifelong Spurs fan, yeah. I talk about trophies on the podcast all the time, or lack of them, because, of course, we haven't won for 16 years. A League Cup was the last time we won one. But, yeah, I started supporting Spurs around 1991 when we won the FA Cup, when we had the likes of Gazza and Lineker. And, the way that Spurs played, that Tottenham way, which is exactly how Ange is getting us to play now, which everyone is so pleased about. But, yeah, lifelong Tottenham Hotspur fan, follow Spurs home and away all around the world. Tottenham is just my life, really, every single day. I talk about Tottenham every day, go to every single game, and really, really enjoy it.
Has it been a tortured existence in recent times?
We've gone through some tough times, but hopefully under the guidance of Ange now, I'm really hoping that this is the guy that's going to bring us a trophy, because Spurs have gone down the win now manager route a couple of times in bringing in, Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte. But, since Mauricio Pochettino left in 2019, we've had 7 different managers in the dugout. So I just hope that Spurs now keep with Ange, trust him, give him the funds, give him the money that he needs to take the club forward, because he walked into a huge job. And, no matter who was going to come into the job in the summer, it is a huge job. He's cleared out a number of players. He's had 2 transfer windows where, we've got business done early, and that's not normal for Tottenham. So for him to have that demand and him to have that desire to say to the board, look, I need these players in early to progress this football club, it is great to see, and it's been really, really pleasing to see. So hopefully he is the man to deliver our next trophy.
So just give us a depiction of the fan base over a period of time. Pessimistic, downtrodden. How have you found yourselves over recent years?
Well, are you talking just about Ange this season?
No, before Ange arrived.
Oh, before Ange arrived, wow. Okay, so we've gone from Maurizio Pochettino in 2019, took us to a Champions League final, didn't spend a penny in any transfer window in 518 days, which was incredible, really. Multiple transfer windows. He'd done an incredible job. And then, of course, he was sacked overnight. Jose Mourinho then came in. Everyone, well, I say everyone, a lot of people were excited about bringing in a win-now manager because we thought we were going to finally get over that line and win a trophy. That didn't work out. Then we've gone through the likes of Nuno Espirito Santo, Antonio Conte. These guys, although Conte was a win-now manager, didn't play the style of football that Spurs fans were used to. It was a very defensive way and system that he played. I think that Ange has transformed the football club in the fact that he knows the type of football that Spurs fans want to see, that entertaining style, because earlier on in the season, it's been like a party atmosphere, people singing his name, everyone jumping up and down. We haven't seen that in the last couple of years. So it's been a revelation, really, to see what he has done and brought to the football club. But as I say, he's a year in, and I'm very, very excited about what he can bring in the next couple of years, if backed in the right way in these windows.
When he was announced as the manager, which side of the debate were you on? Were you open-minded about it, or were you in the sceptical camp?
I think it's fair to say that not a lot of us knew a lot about Ange. And when I went away and done my research, I was like, wow, this guy, wherever he's gone, has been successful. He just hasn't had the big break in one of the top 5 leagues in Europe. And this, no disrespect to Celtic, by the way, he done a fantastic job there. But Celtic fans who I spoke to, they were exactly the same. Sceptical at first, thinking, who is this guy? What has he done? What's his past? But, he went there, he'd done a fantastic job winning the treble. Of course, now he's come to Tottenham. There are a lot of sceptics still in England. A lot of broadcasters, a lot of pundits are saying, who is this guy? He's only got one system. He's only got one way. But, after the first 10 games, everyone was like, wow, who is this guy? And everyone then went away and done their research and thought, Ange is amazing, the way that he's transformed this football club. And, we haven't even spoken about our star player, our record goal scorer, Harry Kane, leaving at the start of the year. Everyone thought, where is his 30 Premier League goals going to come from? Ange had this way of, sharing out the goals, with the players, giving players different responsibilities. And that was another great thing that he did in appointing Heung-min Son as captain and Maddison and Romero as vice-captains. I thought that was a really, really clever move at the start of the year. But as I say, overall, there are a lot of happy fans out there right now.
What was the existential crisis like last week around the Manchester City game, whether to win or lose? And so we tapped into that from afar.
Yeah.
Some people were just aghast at some of the attitudes, maybe not fully understand. And even Ange said in retrospect he didn't fully understand the dynamic at play. How do we review that a week on?
I'll tell you what, it was the strangest atmosphere I've ever known watching Tottenham in my life. There were a lot of people that wanted Manchester City to win because, of course, they didn't want Arsenal to win the league. Personally, I wanted Spurs to win because it's my football club and I follow them home and away, and I want us to win every single game, whether it's a friendly or whoever it's against. And I believe that you should always focus on yourself and not, anyone else. Fair enough. And I do get the whole argument about, you don't want your rivals to win. But I completely agree with Ange, what he said. You need to worry about yourself, and if you want to win trophies or want to stop your rivals winning trophies, win them yourself. And And like I said to you already, I just hope that he is the man to guide us forward to win our next one. But yeah, it was a very, very strange situation last week.
Do you feel has it settled? Did Ange get hurt by it, or was he able to tidy that up in the aftermath?
I think that he was very frustrated with it. There was a couple of press conferences in the last couple of weeks where you didn't really see him smile or be his usual self. But I think that, like I said, he walked into a very, very tough job. And he needs to change the mentality at the football club, within the club, and of course the fans as well, because we want to win. Every single fan and everyone connected to the football club, we all want the same thing. So hopefully he is the man to deliver it. But I love Ange in press conferences. He's such a great talker. He loves the odd joke here and there. He certainly entertains everyone in the press conferences. So, yeah, it's great to see.
He does, in his own way, in his own gruff way, he has a charming demeanour. So how would you... So we followed this intently in the early weeks of the season in particular, and then the emergence of I'm Loving Big Ange instead. And just the way that he so quickly had the supporter base at his touch and feel. How would you describe how that unfolded?
That was so important. The way you just said that, I've got goosebumps because James Black is a good friend of mine, by the way, who sung the Big Ange Instead song.
He came on the show with us at the time.
He's done a fantastic job there, James. You know, he's got the crowd going. But Ange, he knew exactly what he was walking into, and to get the fan base gripped immediately of coming in. You know, after 1, 2, 3 games, people were singing his name. That doesn't normally happen with a new manager. So he got the fan base and the fan base got him. And I just feel like the partnership is made. That's why I feel so positive about him being at Tottenham, because I feel like he gets Tottenham. He gets the challenge. He loves the challenge. He's been successful everywhere he's gone. So I just think everything, goes hand in hand.
I feel like you're going to love tonight.
I hope so.
I'm just thinking, is going to the MCG for the first time, 80, 90,000.
It's going to be incredible.
I think the way Ange will be presented, which really is the centrepiece for so many of us, hopefully we all sing I'm Loving Big Ange instead. Yeah. I reckon you're going to have a great night.
I can't wait. And it's been so lovely to have so many Australian fans that enjoy the podcast and enjoy what I do. And, a lot of people have been so friendly. Which is great to see, and I'm sure it will be a fantastic atmosphere later.
There's a swag of text messages that come through while we're talking, Chris, thanking you for what you've been able to teach people who have come to. So we follow Ange from club to club to club. So it's been a crash course for a whole lot of us in Spurs, and you've played a big role in that. So thank you.
Thank you.
It's lovely to meet you.
And you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Enjoy your time in town. Chris Cowlin, he's the host of the Spurs Chat podcast. It's part of the Talk Sport Network, where we have a great partnership with in the UK. Chris Cowlin with us in the studio.
Foreign Motors massive end of financial year Hyundai sale on now.